we try to hold so much to old titles, to old versions of ourselves, and it's hard for us to move into the new because we are holding so tightly to the old, but you are literally not that person anymore. So I'm thinking MIA would be like a gross understatement at this point, but I am here, I am back. It's been a long journey, maybe, I don't know, like, no, it's probably March of 2023 since I've seen you guys, but I am back. I am well. I have, oh my goodness, quite the journey that I have been on. For those who have followed me on Instagram, thank you so much. I took a brief period off of there as well, but it wasn't quite as long, but I believe I was very, very pregnant on my last video. So I'm very, very unpregnant, very, very, very much have a great, smart, excellent, energetic child who is about to make a year and a half very soon. So I'm just grateful, I'm thankful. It's been, like I said, quite the journey, like a lot of new things, a lot of ups and downs, but I have maintained and I have been strengthened. I've become wiser. And so many facets that, you know, you never think about when you get ready to enter parenthood, but so many good things come out on the other side, so many challenges throughout the path. I mean, you have 9 months to prepare for your child to get here, but that is not nearly at all enough for you to kind of be able to foresee and be able to go through the emotions and just be able to have the full impact of what you're going to be doing. And it's just quite the journey. So just sharing a short bit with you guys today. If you're new here, I'm Amanda. This is The.Amanda.Nora, and I do fashion, I do motivation. I'm big on authenticity and just kind of being who you are and not being afraid to be who you are based on who other people may think you are and who you may have been in the past. It's always a challenge, and it's always a time where you can be a new you. You can always step into who you are now. You don't have to be the person that you used to be. Lifestyle videos, all of those different things are under the umbrella for me. And I'm back to share with you guys, laugh with you guys, possibly cry with you guys, who knows, all of the above on my journey. But again, I believe March of 2023 was the last time that I seen you guys. So I'm very thankful for those who have kept in touch, who have kind of checked in on me, those who have kind of messaged me on Instagram, things of that nature. So very, very thankful, and just kind of want to take you guys on a short version of the journey. You know, we can't go to the long version, we're going to do the short version here, okay? But of course I am 40, so I think I just turned 40 shortly after my last video. So it's called a geriatric pregnancy. High risk pregnancy. They automatically put you into the high risk category because of your age. Automatically, I don't think there was like a choice about that. It's considered a high risk pregnancy, but my pregnancy was actually quite smooth, very healthy. Generally speaking, I am obese, but I do not have any kind of health issues, thankfully. Been very thankful, been very grateful. I talked to you guys, I got a previous video about my journey with the VSG, or vertical sleeve gastrectomy, the sleeve surgery. So I did that. That was beneficial. Definitely recommended to anybody who is thinking, but I had a lot of life ups and downs immediately following that. So gained some of the weight back, did not gain all of it back, but gained some of the weight back. But as far as the pregnancy was concerned, it did not affect me, I guess, very much at all. I really didn't gain any weight during the pregnancy. Like I said, I was overall very healthy. I'm very, very grateful for that. I think I lost a few pounds during the pregnancy. Of course, after having the sleeve, you still can't eat. For most people, you really can't go back to how you used to eat. And that's definitely the case for me. I cannot go back to how I used to eat. So there's a lot of changes in my body. There was a lot of, I think I felt more of, nausea is always a thing for people in pregnancy, but it was just kind of like a different thing, knowing that your stomach is smaller and kind of how the nausea felt with that. I did talk about this a little in my video, but immediately after I had the sleeve surgery, I had a lot of nausea, excuse me, I had a lot of nausea for several months. It was very, very severe. And I kind of felt that feeling come back with the nausea, just kind of like that fresh out of surgery feeling. So it was kind of weird, just having those two things mixed together with the child growing inside of you and your, actual stomach. Because a lot of people think the child, I know this is something that's not made clear to us when we're young. The child does not grow in your stomach. The child grows in your uterus. But all of those areas, they're beginning to compress, and you can kind of definitely slightly feel it's not a bad thing at all. But for me particularly, since I had the previous history with nausea right after surgery, that was kind of an issue for me. But it was not overly obstructive or anything like that. My doctor prescribed me some medicine. We moved on with that. But again, geriatric pregnancy and a high-risk pregnancy due to my age. Of course, weight also, I think, can factor into you having a high-risk pregnancy. But like I said, everything was very smooth for me. I'm very, very thankful for that. And y'all, if I do kind of glance down, I do have notes because, again, first video after a long time. So I'm checking the notes here. But yeah, my doctors were great. I did have a team of about 3 doctors that were seeing me. I had to see a high-risk doctor as well as a regular OB. So I had 2 regular OBs, and I had the high-risk doctor who, I believe she was a nurse practitioner, but she was just awesome and just excellent. Everybody in that high-risk office that I went to, they were super excellent, super comforting. Like the whole process, it was just good. Like they take care of you so good. And I see why people come back, and like a lot of people say, oh, I love being pregnant. I love being pregnant. It's just like a different time in your life. It's a different time for you mentally. Like, they have the pregnancy glow that everybody always talks about. It's just like everything in your body is heightened. Your body is pumping and priming to be the best that it has ever been and can ever be, because you're not just taking care of yourself anymore. You are developing and caring for and providing nutrients for a child. So your body is like peak at every single thing. Is just like working overtime. So it's really a good time. Y'all know I do talk about mental health here as well. So I was very, very concerned. I did not want to go into postpartum depression and like all the things that go along with that. I was very, very, very leery. I wanted to make sure that I was staying on top of my mental health, staying on top of anxiety, staying on top of depression, because I have take medicine for anxiety and depression. I have for years, and I was like, I don't want it to get to like a downward place, because I was in a decent place for the last few years. Low maintenance with my medicine. My therapist, I graduated from therapy, if you will. My therapist released me, that I had back when I was living in Louisiana. She was like, if you need me, call me. She was like, but I mean, we've done all the things. So she walked me through a divorce, like so many different things, and all the aftermath of that, moving to a new city from Louisiana to Atlanta. So many different ups and downs. And I had been with her for about 3 to 4 years, and we kept seeing each other. And then after I got pretty settled in Atlanta, she released me. I graduated. I like to tell people that I graduated from therapy. So I just did not want to get on the other side of pregnancy and have any mental health issues. So that was just something that I was really kind of afraid of. So I tried to do everything I could during my pregnancy as far as self-care, socializing as much as I could, as much as my body would tolerate, because sometimes I was really tired towards the end of the pregnancy. I didn't go to a lot of events and stuff because I'm a part of several groups, and I do meetup groups. I think I may have talked to you guys about things like that, but towards the end I was a little too physically tired, but tried to stay and do everything I could for the socialization part and just taking care of myself, all the self-care things, journaling, everything that you can possibly do to make sure that you are taking care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. I was trying to do that on the front end because I didn't know how the back end was going to look. It's so much, it's a lot out here about postpartum, not just as far as postpartum depression is concerned, but all the issues that you go through after having a child. Is a lot out here. But then everybody is different. You don't know what's going to be for you, what's not going to be for you. You may listen to 5 videos, and those 5 people may talk about some of the similar things. But aside from those 5 videos, there are 1,000 other videos out here with different things other people have went through. So I think that was kind of the thing for me. There was a few things that I kind of was not aware about, postpartum issues that kind of like took me by surprise completely. So my postpartum things that came up for me mostly, first shocking thing for me was hair loss. I don't know if I had heard anybody talk about postpartum hair loss. I'm not sure. Before I had my child, towards the end of my pregnancy, I had braids. I rarely get braids. I rarely get any type of anything to my hair besides I will wear a wig that just goes over. I don't do like sew-ins or anything like that. I'm just low maintenance when it comes to my hair. Probably lazy, if you want to call it that, but lazy and probably cheap too, but I'm low maintenance when it comes to my hair. So I may get braids like once a year. So I did have braids towards the end of my pregnancy, had my child. You know, it's kind of like a good thing towards the end of your pregnancy. So you don't have to worry about doing your hair, is having the braids. And got ready to take my braids out. Everything was fine. It took me a long time to take them out because they were small. Then maybe about a month after I took my braids out, this has put me about 3 months postpartum, I realized I didn't have any edges. I realized that my edges they had left the building. They were completely gone. Like all of this, if you will see now, it's still very thin, kind of here and here. And I was like, had it happened because of the braids, I would have known. I would have known as soon as I took my braids down, but it had been a month after I had braids that I noticed this. And I said, no, I would have noticed that immediately, especially with how long it took me to take the braids down. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea, but I have a lot of hair. I got it all bundled up right now, and it is thinned out. I have lost a lot of hair in general, as far as just like volume of hair. I've lost a lot of hair in general. My hair has grown exponentially. It's probably like here-ish. So it's pretty long, but I've lost so much hair. The hair loss just was crazy. And then, like I said, right here, it was almost like embarrassing, just like going out places and doing things. I had looked on, what do you call it? Amazon, to try to find a little, like a little powder spray stuff with like the fake hair fibers. I actually bought it. I didn't use it, but I did actually buy it. By the time I bought it and thought of something to do, my hair had started growing back in kind of in a decent manner. So I was like, okay, fine. But it took a few months for, like I said, I noticed it in about the 3rd month. And it took a few months for this to even try to start growing back in. And it's still not as full as it previously was, right around the perimeter here. And when I wash my hair, there's still a good bit of hair loss. I always have had a lot of hair loss when I wash it, but it's a lot. And I'm not natural anymore. I think I was natural before I had my child. I think I was still natural, but I've done perm. I've done about maybe 1 to 2 perms in the last year. Not a lot. I'm not doing it like regularly every 4 weeks or anything like that. But this has been my go-to style. Since I had my child. The bun has been my complete go-to style. Throw it up, go to the daycare, go wherever I need to go. I do work at home, thankfully, so I don't have to worry about going into an office, because that would get boring every day wearing a bun into the office. But this has been my go-to style for the last year or so, and it has been working for me. And I said, I do have the length, but it's thinning, and these parts right here have not grown back in. So if you see my edges gone, it's not because I did nothing crazy, no glue, no braids, no nothing. It's the postpartum struggles. Second postpartum struggle that I really want to focus on, sugar cravings. So, y'all know, had the sleeve, did not gain any weight during the pregnancy, actually lost weight during my pregnancy, but the sugar cravings after I had my child, it became insane. Since I had surgery, I used to have a very, very serious, I would almost say borderline addiction to cookies and ice cream before I had surgery. It was bad. Like, it was a comfort thing. It was an emotional eating thing. Like, when I feel bad, I might stop and get a shake. I might stop and get some cookies, something like that. When I was going through things emotionally in different periods of my life where I was not handling my emotions properly and had a lot going on, ups and downs and crazy stuff that I shouldn't have even been into, but that's where I was in life at that time. And sugar was my fallback, specifically the ice cream and the cookies. So I had not had sugar cravings, or I had not been doing those type of things or high sugar consumption since after my surgery, and that was 2018. So you think of 2018 to 2023 when my child was born. That's a good amount of time to just kind of not have to deal with sugar cravings. And I could have, I could go to brunch or dinner or something and have a dessert, and that's the end of it. It may take me two days to eat the dessert. I'm not gonna just sit there and eat the whole dessert and then move on, because I physically still can't, and it just wasn't a thing for me anymore. But after I had my child, again, somewhere around that 2 to 3 month mark, sugar cravings went woohoo. I don't know if it's hormonal. I haven't actually looked it up to try to find out what it was, but this was major for me. So the sugar cravings were off the charts, and the sugar cravings did lead to some weight gain for me. So that was crazy. I'm going to talk about that a little bit towards the end of the video, because I am doing something to combat that, and I'm going to be sharing that with y'all as I come back, as I speak with y'all, as I share. Y'all can keep me accountable and all those things. But hair loss, sugar cravings, like I said, I did not get the, I guess, I don't want to say textbook, because everyone is different. Everyone has a different story. Everyone has a different background, especially where mental health is involved. But I did not get the textbook, like when you hear about postpartum, you hear like a lot of bad and scary things that people think, in regards to their child and themselves and all that. I didn't get that version of the textbook, postpartum depression, but it did heighten the anxiety that I did previously deal with. It definitely heightened that. I have great doctors now, thankfully. I had to, oh goodness, my OBs were excellent, but I've had a very much uphill journey in the PCP area. Had to get a new primary doctor. That was just like a whole journey that I don't even want to discuss, but I have a great primary doctor now who is working with me, working with my mental health team, and we're like, it's smooth now, it's good now. But for a minute there, I kind of felt like out in the dark as far as mental health, because my PCP wasn't really kind of into that type of thing, and I didn't have an established therapist here, so I kind of had to go through a few people regarding therapy, and it was a journey, but thankfully I'm balanced now. So there's that. That was my postpartum woes, if you will. But like I said, thankfully, some people go through really, really heavy things with the postpartum depression, so I don't even want to like comment on that, as far as I don't feel like I experienced that portion of it, and I'm thankful, and my heart does go out to those that do. I'm in a lot of groups for Tyler moms over 40, geriatric moms, and the stories that you hear is really heartbreaking. And mental health is so important, and sometimes when you're in that place and you are people already judge you regardless for mental health things, and for everything else we do in life. People already judge us. They already have something to say about the slightest thing. You change your hair, you wear a different color lipstick, you usually wear this type of clothes, but you wear that type of clothes. Like you buy a new car, you upgrade something, you get a new house. People have something to say about everything. But when it comes to something as serious as the care of your child being in danger, is something that's very scary. And people, like, we have a lot of anonymous posts in the groups of ladies who are kind of going through different things with that, and it's so scary. So my heart goes out to everyone who deals with that side of it. You're not alone. There are Facebook groups, there are hotlines, there are different things like that you can call to try to get help and someone to walk you through. If you have the ability and the means, definitely seek a therapist, a psychiatrist, someone to kind of help you get balanced out during that time, because it just breaks my heart when I do see people who are going through and they're scared to talk to someone. Maybe their partner doesn't understand, and so that was my journey, and very thankful for being able to go through the things that I went through and not having to get in the worst down depths of it. So just grateful and just thankful. I do, like I said, continue to practice my self-care. I'm about a month after I had my child, I started back going to my meetup groups and trying to slowly get back social, because that's very important for me as the person that I am. As I told you, I used to consider myself an introvert. Then I kind of had to realize that wasn't really who I was. It was just kind of a little phase that I was going through in my late 20s, early 30s, because I had lost a lot of my confidence. So I had to come out of that. I had to step out of that, and I had to say, hey, you're not really an introvert. You know that, right? Like people who know you, like you're not an introvert. Because I have this, I consider myself an ambivert now. Because I may come into the scene, I may come into the party or the game night or whatever, and I may be like low key and quiet for a little bit, but then after a while, I'm going to like, woo, you know, like I'm gonna be talking to everybody. I'm gonna be cracking jokes. I'm gonna be being competitive with the games, like all of that. That's me. That's who I am. So I had to realize that, you know, that's not necessarily who I am. I'm not as far as an introvert. I do like socialization now. I do spend a lot of alone time. I am a heavy thinker. I'm a person who does a lot of research on random things as well as important things. So I do have a lot of alone time, and I do enjoy my alone time, but I do enjoy socialization highly as well. And I had to make sure that that was a constant thing. Since my child has been born, staying active. I'm very, very thankful for my support system, the people in my life who help me, who are able to keep him, you know, those who are trustworthy with keeping him, and just, I don't know, I'm grateful because, again, in a lot of mom groups, and some people have zero help, literally zero help. So I'm very, very thankful. I don't have a large family. My child's father does not have a large family, so for us to have kind of a small circle, but still people who we can depend on to come in to keep him, to take care of him in our absence, that's an awesome thing for me. So I'm very, very, very grateful. That helps me to stay balanced mentally, physically, everything. So I'm thankful for that. My child is, I'm not going to say that he's like a small version of me, but because he's talking a little bit, but he's not like, you know, all the way making full sentences, but he's talking, he's saying a lot of words, but he seems to have a very large personality. So maybe he does. His father is more on the reserve side, so I think a little more of me personality wise than his father on the personality side, but it's still yet to develop. But he is like fireball. He is go, 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 go. Of course, all children are usually full of energy, but he's very determined, very, seems like he's going to be like a leader personality, very energetic, very outspoken, even though he's not speaking full sentences yet. He's already very outspoken. When he wants something, he says that, and when he wants to do something, he does that. So definitely trying to find, you know, so many things that we've learned as far as mental health, you know, raising children differently, so many things that we were not taught, that we as, you know, millennials, Generation X, and all those generations are finding out now that were not good parenting practices, but it was just the times, and it was just how people raised their kids, and it was the best way for people to make it. It was the best way for people, even survival factors have had a lot to do sometimes with how people have raised their kids. But as we have learned more about mental health and, you know, kind of some of the ways that are not positive, if you will, with raising children, so I'm just trying to be mindful of those things as best as I can, utilize what I learned, trying to make sure that he has kind of a balanced life, make sure he has a voice, and make sure, you know, that he's happy and able to continue in that pattern throughout his life as best as possible. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm very, very thankful. He's meeting on all his milestones, all that good stuff. So I'm very, very, very thankful for that. So uphill journey was an understatement. I hate to be like, so like worst case scenario, because like I've tried to find that balance, and I tried to, you know, tell others this as well. What I go through is important, and it's detrimental for me. So, you know, hey, maybe I was heading to work and I had a flat tire and it made me late, and I got to work, and, you know, my boss screamed at me, but I didn't get fired, and I was kind of on the edge mentally. And then I'm complaining about that to a friend, and then they say, oh, well, I got fired today. You know, everyone can have a bad story and a worse story. There's always going to be a worse story, but I think we should be able to know who we are, what we are, and acknowledge when we have difficult things that happen to us. We don't have to go through the struggle Olympics and feel like my struggle was not as bad as that person's struggle, so I don't want to talk about my struggle. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to over dramatize my struggles, but I'm not going to minimize, and I don't think other people should either. And I tell other people that I work with, don't minimize your struggles. You know, you don't have to go on and drag it out and, you know, become like a whole negative thing. But you do need to acknowledge the things that you've been through. You do need to acknowledge the struggles that you've had. You do need to sit back and look at those things and examine them and see how they affected you, how you learned from them, what you could have done better in every situation, in every scenario in life. You have to sit back and you have to reflect and see. Go ahead and gauge where you are now, because you're not the same person that you were before you went through something. I'm not the same person that I was before I had a job. I'm a different person now. Hi, it's a new Amanda.Nora here on YouTube. I am not the same person, and as much as we try to hold, and I think that's a major problem for most people, we try to hold so much to old titles, to old versions of ourselves, and it's hard for us to move into the new because we are holding so tightly to the old, but you are literally not that person anymore after you go through certain things and certain challenges. And you have to acknowledge that you don't have to over dramatize it, because yeah, maybe somebody did go through something worse. You want to empathize with that person, and you want to lift that person up. You want to encourage them. You want to motivate them. You want to be there for them, even if they're sitting in silence. But at the same time, I don't have to minimize my struggle just because someone else did go through something that may be more severe. We can acknowledge our struggles. We can acknowledge what we went through, while also not ignoring what the next person has went through. We don't have to do that. They're not mutually exclusive. I had a bad situation. My friend had a worse situation, so I have to shut up about mine. That's not a good way to live life. And some families and some people are taught like that. You know, other people have it worse. You should shut up. Like, even when we were children, we was taught, you know, starving children in Africa don't have food. So, you know, eat your vegetables and shut up. Like that type of thing. We don't have to live like that. It's funny now thinking about it, like as far as the silly things that were said to us when we were young to make us comply. And you think about it as an adult and how silly it sounds, and how that's not reality in any way, shape, form, or fashion, as far as I just have to eat my vegetables because someone in a whole other country doesn't have vegetables. And to some degree, we still participate and perform in those struggle Olympics, and we have to stop. So honor where you are right now in life. honor what you've been through. Honor what you're going through. Honor those who support you. Be grateful for them. Be thankful for them. Know that someone may be going through something worse. So if there's a moment of gratefulness that you can take to kind of like slow down and say, hey, maybe I'm overdoing this a little bit. You know, I got all these good things going on. Let me not over dramatize. That's okay too, because I do believe in gratefulness. But again, let's just not participate in the struggle Olympics. But that's it. Give yourself grace. I think that's one of the most things that I have and am learning. There's a new level of balance needed for me, if you will, between giving myself grace and doing the things that I need to do, like coming back to you guys. I've been gone for a hot minute, so I needed to come back to you guys. I needed to come back and restart what I wanted to do. This was something that I just got up one day and said, oh, I'm going to make YouTube videos, you know. I'm going to start doing Shein reviews. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing that. And like nobody dragged me on YouTube. I wanted to come here. So I have to find a balance between giving myself grace and knowing that, hey, I have a different lifestyle now. I have a different schedule now. Everything is different. Like I always planned everything for my week as far as social media was concerned and coaching things. Everything was planned on a Sunday night. Sunday nights don't look like that anymore. I had to find a new way to fit in time and plan and schedule. So I have to give myself grace, but I also have to be accountable and knowing that there are things that I need to do to push my life forward at the same time. So it's been quite the journey. I'm very thankful for family members, friends, loved ones, calls, texts, support, prayers, encouragement, everything. I am extremely grateful for every single thing everyone throws in my direction that's positive, okay? And even the negative stuff, we learn and we grow from that too. Life is not all good all the time, but I can always make a good thing out of a bad situation if I so desire to. So I'm grateful and thankful. I want to be coming back to you guys. As I said, the whole weight loss thing, I had like I come to I don't know. I don't want to say a come to Jesus, because it really wasn't a come to Jesus if it was about 4 months ago, and here we are about, later, and I'm just actually getting actively into it. But today makes exactly 1 month since I've been on my intermittent fasting journey, and I don't know how fast I'm going to get this loaded. So today is September the 8th, so on August the 8th, I started my intermittent fasting journey. So much to that, there were several reasons why I did not want to do fasting of any kind, and that's a whole other story. But I want to make a separate video about intermittent fasting. It has been a month that I've been doing that. I've lost 12 pounds. I've lost 12 pounds. It didn't require a whole lot of hoop-de-hoo and changing every single facet of my life, because as I said, my schedule, all the things are different. It's not the same. So it was something that I could work into my life while I'm working on the schedule that my child has me on right now, because your child is in charge of the schedule, not you. So it was something I could work in, and I'm very grateful and thankful for that. So 12 pounds down. My goal is to lose 50 pounds by my birthday in January, and I'm well on my way there. So just stick with me. I'm definitely going to do a video kind of explaining something like that if you're interested in more of my postpartum journey and my postpartum struggles, my self-care routine, all of that. Just let me know in the comments. But I will definitely be coming back to you guys with more information and more of all the things. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good morning, evening, or night wherever you are in the world.